Hello, welcome Andy and Jean, profiled in our Start Sailing Now, August 2020. And you've told us an interesting story about how you got into sailing and how over the past 3 years, the two of you have really expanded your sailing. And I wanted to just jump off of that and ask you a little bit more in depth about a couple areas. Let's start with Andy. You are a relatively new boat owner. I know you've taken courses and gotten certifications over the last couple years, but tell us a little bit about your dreams and your trepidations about boat ownership.
So this is a progression. In 2018, Jean and I started to take formal certification classes at J-World, and I think the dream was to be able to do what this boat that I just purchased in June will allow us to do, which is to go cruising and anchor out in the bay, and if we want to go further, go further. It's just the freedom to do that, and you know, we both get a lot of enjoyment out of it, and the travel aspect, as well as the joy of being able to operate the boat. You know, I will say I was blissfully naive about one really important aspect of boat ownership, and that's the maintenance, care and maintenance of the boat. So for the last 2 years, we belong to this boating club, the Chesapeake Boating Club in Annapolis, where, you know, it's kind of like going to Enterprise rental car. You know, you reserve your boat and you pick it up, you sail it, and you bring it back, and you do minimal putting stuff away, and that's it. You don't have to worry about anything else. So now, as an owner, I'm being exposed to that whole aspect of it. It's because I really want to be in this space that I don't mind, but it is an extra layer that I'm dealing with.
Yeah, worth it in the end for sure. How did you select the boat that you have?
Peaceful One is a 2003 Beneteau 393. I liked Beneteau as generally a brand because I thought it brought a lot of you know, the design and finer elements of cruising sailboats to people, you know, in an affordable package. In a social sailing club that Jean and I belong to, Singles on Sailboats, one of the club members had a Beneteau 393, same vintage, and I just loved the boat, the size, the way it looked. So that's how I got there with my purchase.
Yeah, very good. Well, congratulations, and I hope the two of you have lots of wonderful adventures on it. Jean, one of the things that you mentioned when you were explaining to me how you got involved in sailing was an opportunity you had. I believe it's called Pangea Exploration. Can you share with us just a little bit about what that is and what your trip was like?
Certainly. So a friend of mine who I'm a geographer retired, and she's a fisheries toxicologist, and she loved to sail. So she got involved with this group, and it's called Exploration with 2 X's, and now they call themselves more Pangea Exploration. They're 72-foot Sea Dragon. They are using it, we're using it for like scientific explorations, but also for making people aware of the plastics in the ocean. She contacted me and said, you know, I know you're interested, and they need to move the boat. It was in Bermuda, and they need to move it to Portland, Maine. And for $200, are you willing to fly down to Bermuda, be a crew on the boat, and for 6 days sail it through blue water to Portland, Maine? And I was only crew. There were 7 of us, I believe, so captain and first mate, and then 4 of us taking turns. We had 4-hour shifts on, 6 hours off. So you slept when you could. You know, we cooked meals together. But there was no stopping. And a lot of things I didn't realize. And I have to say, one of the special times, 2 times we did this, is they said, you know, let's just stop the motor, put the sails down, and let's go swimming. So we swam in 3,000 feet of water.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And yes, and somebody always kept a lookout for sharks. But we got to swim around the boat, and it was just awesome. So,
well, I know you both told me that you like adventurous travel, and I'm excited for both of you to have this new boat and all the wonderful experiences that lie ahead of you. Never a bad time to learn to sail and make that a part of your life, and you're a great example of that. And thank you for being an inspiration and sharing your story.
Oh, you're welcome.
You are very welcome.